Hello, family. Welcome to day 37 of our Purpose Pursuit. We are going along smoothly. Yesterday, we were talking about day 36, and in day 36, we were talking about made for a mission. And in day 37, we're talking about sharing our life's message. I want you to understand, and as the author states, your life is meant to be shared with others. Your testimony, your experiences, your challenges, your victories are meant to be shared. God created us to live in community, as we have talked about in earlier chapters. And today we're understanding that for us to really be a part of the community and for us to really integrate in the community and make an impact in the community, we have to share our story. Your story is important. God uses your story to bless someone. God uses the lessons you have learned in your life. God uses your passion, and God uses your testimony of Christ to impact the lives of those around you. And so the author is challenging us that we have to share our testimony with others. We have to look for every opportunity to share our testimony. Do not be timid about sharing your testimony or your life story, thinking that it's challenging. Talking about your flaws and your errors and your mistakes is going to be a shameful thing. Forget about all of that. We have to share our life's message. We were meant to bond with others as we share our life message and our experiences. It doesn't matter whether they are good experiences, it doesn't matter whether they are bad experiences. On either side, someone can get valuable wisdom from your testimony. Think about the story of Solomon. Solomon shared with us lessons from his life in the book of Proverbs and in the book of Ecclesiastes. And because of the lessons that we have learned in those chapters, in those books of the Bible, today we are able to do massive things. People are able to make decisions. People are able to live very happy and fruitful lives because of the lessons that were captured in the book of Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. Your name might not be Solomon. Your story might not be Solomon's story, but your name is unique and your story is unique to you, and someone else is going to connect with you based on your story. Your story is better than any principle that is shared out there. Yes, the Bible has principles, but when you can talk to someone who has taken advantage of the principles in the Bible and they have lived those and they have an experience and a testimony, it is even more powerful. Remember that a witness is not meant to convince people. A witness is not meant to steer people towards a certain opinion or to judge what is true or false, or convince people on whether something is true or false. A witness is simply there to state what they have seen and experienced. And you and I are witnesses of God's transformation. You and I are witnesses of God's love. You and I are witnesses of God's love. And so do not be shy to share your testimony with someone. The world is waiting for you. Someone is waiting to hear your challenges, your struggles, your successes, and they can connect with that and believe in themselves that if you could do it, then they can do it. And I want you to understand that there are always going to be opportunities to share your testimony. You have to seize those opportunities. Sometimes when you start sharing that testimony, then it's going to open doors for more opportunities to share your testimony. So remember that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony. So do not be shy about sharing your testimony. Be bold about sharing your testimony. And as you share it, one very important thing in sharing your testimony is to be authentic. Your testimony is unique to you. Your testimony is your truth. You are not out to convince people about something. You are just relating who you are and what has happened to you. And if they feel connected, then they are going to connect to you. And I tell you what, many people might not connect with you, but many people will connect with you. And so do not be fake. Do not try to be inauthentic as you share your testimony. And I know that vulnerability is hard, but if you can overcome the fear of being vulnerable for the greater good that is going to be produced in the life of someone when you share your testimony, you're going to reap the rewards. Remember, we talked about the fact that when we serve God in our shape, when we share and we are vulnerable in the area where God has called us to serve, we experience very great fulfillment. So I want to challenge you today, as the author of this book is challenging you, that you should go out there and share your testimony. Share what God has done in your life with someone. Share the transformation that has gone on in your life. I am on this platform sharing my testimony through this book of what God has done in my life. I feel better about myself. I feel like I'm living a more intentional life by reading this book. That's my testimony. It's so simple, and yours might even be more complex or simpler. But no matter where you are in life, you have a voice. Your testimony has a voice, and you should not shy away from sharing it. The author says today, he's asking you a question, and his question is, as you reflect on your story, what part of that story does God want you to share? And who does God want you to share that part of your story with? So think about your story. This is Thanksgiving season, and I know that there's so many things that God has done in your life. So as you're reflecting, think about, who does God want me to share my testimony with? And as you do that, somebody is going to be blessed. Recently, I encountered a lady who was explaining to me challenges that she was facing and how God has worked with her. And I could relate with her because I have recently, and I feel like I'm still going through a similar process, and we could talk for hours of just how God was working in us through our challenges, through our difficulties. And so you never know who you're going to impact by the story that you share. And so you never know who you might be holding up from their next level by the story you do not share. Don't be shy. The world awaits you. Go forth and share your life's message. And one very important thing that the author says, and one very important thing to note, is that as you share your story, you have to live your truth. Because the most powerful thing is not just speaking your truth, but it's living your truth. A lot of people find themselves speaking something, but living another thing. But let your transformation, let your story be so unique, be so true, be so authentic, that your life is a reflection of that story. I'll see you tomorrow on day 38. We are wrapping this up, so stay tuned, and I'll see you. Bye-bye.